Well, Dave, thanks for talking to us. It's a little bit different because you've got a couple of weeks before you actually get back into the action, but you got what you wanted, I think, at the weekend. Determination, effort and application back in abundance.
Yeah. You know, we worked all week on having the qualities that were missing for large parts the previous week. It made it a turgid affair, a attritional game on a tricky pitch. But we've got to make sure that our mindset 1 minute to 3 is like that every week. And if it is, then we'll always back ourselves to produce enough quality in the 90 minutes to win a game of football. And that's what it was. You know, there was 2 good bits of play in the whole game from us. We fell asleep once. And we won the game. So, you know, it was job done. It wasn't pretty. I think anyone who played with tenor for the first time in a while would probably feel a bit shortchanged because they're used to some good football, or a lot of good football from us. But at the end of the day, we're in the business to win games of football, and that's what we did.
A lot is made of in football from the media, of course, about systems and the way you go about your job and the style that you want. But how important is it, like what you had on Saturday, to have in your armoury that you can win a game differently than your usual way that you play? Yeah,
I think we went to Exeter last year, and their pitch, because I think they played 4 home games on the spin, and it chucked it down in every game that they played in quite. So they were chasing games themselves. I think ultimately that's what cost them a place in the top 3. I have to say, because they're a really good footballing team Exeter. They were last year, and I've got a lot of respect for the manager as well. But we went down there planning and executing a different way of playing. You know, and Saturday was the same. You know, and that's we all get told about philosophies and you know, how to play and being really true. I genuinely think if we'd have played in our own defensive third and played through the thirds on Saturday, we'd have got beat. Why? Because the pitch wasn't conducive to that, their style and their high press. So, you know, the best philosophy is the winning philosophy. And there's lots of ways of doing that. And I think, like I say, I think Saturday we showed a completely different way of how we play. And that's, you know, if we'd have showed up like that the week before against Burton, would we have won? It's in the record books is what it is. But it certainly wouldn't have been the manner of the defeat, that's for sure. So we know that we've got to have that mindset and that application every game that we play. And if we do, then we'll give any team a game and probably win most of them because we've got enough quality in the team.
I was just saying, nearly 2 weeks off before you come into your next action in League One. Was the timing right? Is it a good timing for everybody?
Yeah, it is. You know, I think with the amount of games, I would say that any break is probably welcome. But, you know, I could say one answer, or I could say the complete opposite answer. That time will tell, I suppose, is the truth. They will have a number of days off their feet this week, so that they can get fully rested physically, fully recuperated mentally before coming in back end of the week and ticking over, and then starting next week ready for their Easter programme and the final 10 games of the season.
We always say it's a 24/7 job, isn't it, in football management? But having this 2 weeks off in terms of not having to really prepare for the game, does it help you with your staff to look ahead, you know, the recruitment side of it, watching players, watching teams? Is it all can come in handy? Can give you a good start, probably?
Yeah. We start, like I said, we started over a month ago on all that. And we've got to carry on with that. We're getting down the line on that. this morning's all about that. We watch the 23s this afternoon. Tomorrow we'll be about that. Then I'm back to Northampton to watch them against Oxford tomorrow night. Wednesday will be about that. Thursday will be about that. You know, so that's this week. You know, we've got a big summer ahead of us. We've got the more preparation we do, and the more the hard yards we do now, and the graft we do now. I'm a big believer in the more successful it'll be, and certainly the path will be easier to plot. You know, I would say once the game's stopped, but then, you know, you can start plotting the path now. So, you know, we've got some work to do on the recruitment. We've got some work to do on the retention of our own players. So, you know, it's I think 24/7 is about 3 hours shorter than what it needs to be honest.
You said it's a big summer. Do you feel as though it's probably the biggest overall that you're going to have this summer since you've come into the job, which is now over 4 years ago?
Yes, I think probably just the numbers of players are going to suggest that. You know, because you can term biggest as most important or most critical. It's probably, you know, I think it's just a continual evolution of this football club. You know, I think have we evolved in a positive fashion since 4 years ago? I think even my biggest critic or Crew's biggest critic would say that we have. You know, we're in new division high to prove that. So we know we're heading in the right direction, and we know we've made great strides. And if we keep making great strides, then we'll be heading or continue to head on the right path, and that's the plan.
Of course, you know, you're talking to all the players and looking at what will be available from other clubs. With the way that it's been on this horrendous year, no supporters, you know, finances have been hit a bit. Do you expect it to be more and more players available than ever then?
Yes, is the short answer. The squad limit will go from 22 to 20 next season. So there's another 48 clubs with 2 less players. So there's another 96 players out of contract before you even started. Football clubs haven't had one fan in or one game with fans in. Vastly reduced. So I would imagine that wages won't be going up either, even though the salary cap has been, I would say, abolished or suspended, whichever you prefer. It's still a very tough market to be a footballer, you know, and the market is still there. The only change to that is more to do with Brexit. You know, our net, was it cast far and wide to, you know, to Greece and the far continent? No, it wasn't. But then we might have had one pop up from there. But, you know, that's been taken away by and large. And that's not just us, that's all football clubs, unless the championship clubs get a Greek under 19 or what, you know, someone of that ilk. But that means there might be 96 more, or potentially 96 more footballers available. But it's also more of a crowded market because there's more people shopping in that market. So, you know, there's pros and cons to where we go in the summer and how we go about it. But like I said, we're doing as much work as we can to prepare ourselves and give ourselves the best chance. You know, we've got to do that because there are resources. We have to. And it stood us in good stead so far. I'm a big believer in the harder you work, the luckier you get. So we're working hard to try and, you know, plan and bring players into this football club that will help us develop. The only other thing that we're not sure of at the minute is which division we'll be in.
I was just going to come into that now. 10 games to go into the final 10 of the season, 51 points on the board. Just your assessment going into your final run and how it's been back in League One for you.
Okay. You know, I keep saying we started off the season with the lowest budget in the league. I don't know I would imagine that Wigan have probably now got the lowest budget, but I don't know. But we did have, that's for sure, unequivocally, because I saw Steve Evans come out last week and say it, which I nearly fell from my chair. So when you factor in that our resources are right down the bottom of the table, we're doing okay. Can we do better? Yes, we can. Have we got everything to play for the last 10 games? Yes, we have. So we could be in a far worse position, but we could be in a better position as well. And we've got to make sure these last 10 games we put ourselves in a better position, because that's the challenge. And we've got a great opportunity to do something special. And we've got 10 games to prove it.
Well, you've nearly fell off your chair. I fell off the settee. If those figures are right, what Ipswich players were getting paid, I don't know whether you saw that, but that was incredible that they're in the same division as you on wages like that, if it's true. But just moving on to what you've got left, you have got a lot of attractive fixtures, Dave. You can't really say that none of them are not attractive in League One because of the amount of ability that's in there. But you start with, when you do get back, Good Friday, the league leaders here in Hull City.
Yeah, they're a good team. I like Grant. I really like him. When we played them earlier on the season, we felt unlucky. We didn't deserve to lose the game, but it was a real good game. It was a footballing game. And I spoke to Grant after. He was with his parents, who were also lovely people, which is, no coincidence. When it's the first time I met Grant McCann as a manager, and he's a good guy. He's a nice guy, and hopefully we'll, whether we play better or not, it doesn't really matter. We need to win the game, and that's what we've got to do. They're coming, like I said, top of the table. We played top of the table at home before and beat them, so that's got to be the challenge again.
Just want to talk about a couple of players. Good to see Callum HudsonOdoi back. Had his little brief spell as a substitute, but got the shirt and started for you last weekend. Of course, good to have his ability back in the squad. Yeah,
I thought he was good. I thought he was really good. He missed a chance in the first half to put Tom Lowry straight clean through. And we've made sure his brain was engaged in football geography, if you like, pitch geography, before really exposing him. It's difficult when you're out for a long time to then come in when it's that hustle and bustle and make good decisions continually. I think it was 2 games ago we could have put him on the bench and he's not quite ready. Then we put him on the bench and he come on and it was okay. But it does take a bit of time to come back where you are on the pitch and seeing things and getting all that stuff back. And like I say, we felt as though he was ready on before Saturday, and he was fine. He was fine. I thought it was good. I thought our midfield 3 were very good. In fact, I thought that's where we made sure we didn't lose the game, if you like. That gave us the platform to build upon, and he was a big part of that.
And just talking about that, Callum HudsonOdoi back, Donovan Daniels back, right up to date now on Luke Offord. Where are we there? Is that getting closer for you now?
Yeah, he's trained last week. He's playing for our under-23s this afternoon. He's playing at Nantwich this afternoon, so we're watching him. He'll be then training on Wednesday. There's no rest for him. He's got to get himself back up to speed, but he's heading in the right direction. So he's not far away either. He just needs a few games. Ollie Finney's having his boot off. He's starting to run, but very, very tentatively. Josh Lundstrom, he's about another month, maybe 5 weeks away. Nathan Woodthorpe is having an operation on a bit of cartilage, so he's going to be out for a while. I think that's it for an injury update, if you wanted one.